Sox down by 2. On Fox, brought to you by Chevy Silverado. It's the right truck, and by Bud Light for the great taste that never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light. We move into the bottom of the 7th inning. And the scoring recap won't take long. The top of the 2nd inning as David Wells gets ready to work in the 7th. This infield hit by Boone floated the bases. Kareem Garcia with a 2-out 2-run single up the middle. Soriano goes the other way and makes it 3-0. David Wells has been terrific here so far tonight. Breaking bats, stranding 6, and with the bases loaded, down by 2, Manny Ramirez had a chance. 2 innings ago in the 5th and bounced out to 3rd, the force out. And here we are after a stretch. Contreras getting loose in the bullpen for New York. And Wells will deal with Nixon, Varitek, and Damon. Embry getting loose on one side, Contreras on the other. Nixon's been on base twice tonight. Doesn't have a hit. Hit by a pitch and reached on an error.
Wells missing twice with curveballs, both about in the same spot, high.
Three balls and a strike on Nixon.
Nixon with good power to left field. If you're Wells, you know he knows the fastball is coming, so you try to keep it away. Came inside.
And it's a full count.
Posada sets up inside. That is rare. We mentioned it a couple of times tonight. The pitcher is behind in the count, going inside to a hitter.
White, a lefty, joins Contreras. Wells comes back from a 3-0 count to strike out Nixon, 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. This week, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. First, Brett Favre and the Packers trying to rebound from a heartbreaking loss to Kansas City. They take on Mark Bulger and the high-flying Rams. Then the Buccaneers trying to win their second straight as they battle Terrell Owens and the 49ers. Or other regional action. Coverage begins Sunday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific here on Fox. Big strikeout for Wells as he gets his 5th of the night. And Varitek, who has one of 4 Boston hits, stands in. Takes a ball.
Notice how he came back on Trot Nixon. We were talking earlier also about David Wells and his control. Remarkable that he walked only 20 batters all season.
Hard hit, diving stop by Jeter. High throw and out at first as Nick Johnson applies the tag. And how many times has Jeter heard about his limited range and diving to his left? The bad left shoulder didn't show up on that play.
Terrific play by Jeter. Nice play by Johnson also, corralling the ball off the base and tagging Varitek charging down to first.
Wells appreciates that effort. With 2 out, nobody on, here's Johnny Damon. A strike. Damon tonight is 0 for 3. Strike 2. Saw Rivera go through that door maybe to put on his cape.
Instead of a phone booth, huh?
Wells trying to get through 7. Red Sox trying to get something going here in the 7th. Damon backed up at a ball and 2 strikes. On the infield for Jeter. 7 strong from David Wells. We go to the 8th. Yankees still on top. 3-1. For the Yankees here in the 8th inning, Giambi, Williams, and Posada. All of the Yankees runs coming in the 2nd. They played solid defense behind David Wells here this afternoon and into the evening as Derek Lowe misses with ball 1 to Giambi. And now it's Mariano Rivera getting loose for the Yankees out in their bullpen. On the outside corner, a ball and a strike.
David he did a great job tonight, if that was his last inning. And you see Mariano getting up, and bad for ball. It's not getting any easier.
Wells struck out 5, walked 2. So far he's allowed a run on 4 hits, and we'll see if he is indeed finished. Depending, I would imagine, on what the Yankees do here in the 8th. If Joe Torre could avoid it, he would love to not have to use Rivera for 2 innings with a game coming up potentially tomorrow afternoon.
That's an interesting point, because it's not tomorrow night, definitely, but only if the Cubs win tonight will these 2 teams meet at Yankee Stadium tomorrow night.
And as Joe was saying, I think if they do score a couple runs, gives them the luxury of only using Rivera for 1 inning, and then tomorrow you have him available for 2.
Giambi waits for a 1-2 pitch. That's fouled on the line. Giambi has a hit. Line drive single into center back in the 5th inning. Only his 3rd hit and 16 trips to the plate in this series. The big bats will come to the plate again for the Red Sox before the end of this night. 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up in the bottom of the 8th. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Giambi.
I don't think you can think of either of these teams as superb defensive teams. Seattle Mariners, yes. And I'm not saying because Brett's here. Seattle certainly. But the Yankees have made some superb plays tonight defensively.
Jeter with the latest play to help Wells, and that's out of play. Again, we talked about it early in the game. Grady Little saying, win or lose. Here in Game 5, John Burkett will be the Red Sox starter tomorrow at Yankee Stadium. Wearing the sweatshirt. The 2-2 delivery. Giambi takes ball 3. The other option would be, if they wanted to bring Pedro Martinez back on short rest and then potentially bring Tim Wakefield out for the start in Game 7.
And as we said, that can only happen if Pedro goes to Grady Little and says, I'll pitch tomorrow night.
3-2 to Giambi leading off. Good at bat by the Yankee DH to work a walk to start this 8th inning. Let's look at some of these defensive plays. Nick Johnson. Hideki Matsui with a great jump on this ball with 2 on and 1 out at the time. The flip from the glove from Soriano to Jeter, and then Derek Jeter to his left to rob Varitek of a hit. In the bottom of the 7th, to the delight of David Wells. Now we'll have a pinch runner as DeLucci comes in. He runs for Giambi. Fourth walk handed out by Lowe. And here's Bernie Williams. Bernie Williams, a guy who has hit Derek Lowe well in the past. And it's interesting that with Alan Embry ready, Grady Little opts to leave Derek Lowe on the mound.
I was thinking that too, Joe. I think the reason that Lowe's still out there is because his ability to get the ground ball, his ability to get the double play.
To the right side, Millar fires to second, out. Good play by Millar to get the lead runner, and on at first is Williams, now 11 out of 34 in his career against Lowe. Our Sprint Virtual Manager question was, will Tim Wakefield pitch again in this series? 70% of you say yes, and I think you can probably add the 3 of us to that list. To answer the question, you got a chance to use your PCS Vision phone from Sprint. Here's Posada. Check on Williams. Posada 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored.
Joe Torre telling us before Game 1 that he would hit and run with Posada. 3 guys he would not hit and run with: Soriano, Giambi, and Bernie Williams.
This situation, though, I think they're going to let Posada swing the bat. The 3-1 lead. I don't think Joe wants to have him swing at something he doesn't want to swing at.
Count evens at a ball and a strike.
Yankees have done it with Matsui earlier in the game.
That was in that 3-run second inning. Kept at the plate by Varitek. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, if the Yankees are going to do it, this would be the count on which to do it. 2 balls and 1 strike, considered by most as the ideal hit and run count.
behind to make it 3-1. Matsui on deck, so this could be the last hitter of the evening for Derek Lowe. Left-handed hitter, lefty Embry ready in the Boston bullpen. Red Sox have turned to double play tonight. Runner goes, base hit to right. Bernie Williams will turn and go to third. Posada gets his first hit of this game 5, and it's first and third, 1 out. And now Grady Little is coming out of the dugout, and he is already called for Alan Embry. So Derek Lowe will leave. Embry is coming in. Matsui is coming up. Yankees trying to add to a 3-1 8th inning lead. Embry out of that Boston bullpen, which has been really a strength for the Red Sox in this postseason. Embry's been a part of that. Last 18 innings pitched out there, including the division series, 1 run allowed, 6 hits, 21 strikeouts. And the lefty Matsui is up with runners at first and third and 1 out. 3-1 Yankees, top of the 8th inning. Off Embry to third. Miller will look home, throw to first for the out. And it's 4-1 New York.
Bernie Williams had a terrific jump off of third base, and that's why he beat the play. That's a very, very important thing, is to get that lead off of third base, and now when it hits Embry in the leg, by the time Miller looks, it's too late to throw home. Only one place to go. Bernie Williams off with the crack of the bat. It hits Embry over to Miller. And the Yankees score another run.
1-5-3 on the putout. The RBI makes it a 3-run game again, and Nick Johnson bats with Posada the runner at second and 2 out. Pretty good rip by Nick Johnson on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. The Yankees have both Rivera and Contreras, 42 and 52, getting loose out in their bullpen. Typically, you would say, all right, 3-run lead, save situation, it's Rivera. But again, with a game coming up tomorrow, Joe Torre certainly has a decision to make. If he feels comfortable enough, leading by 3 at the moment, to bring Contreras in rather than Rivera for 6 outs. Right now, it's up to Embry to keep it a 3-run game. Ball 1 to Nick Johnson.
Rivera's last outing was on Saturday, and he only threw 18 pitches. So he's capable of going 2 innings tonight and an inning tomorrow easily.
Two and 2, pretty close.
I think you will certainly see Contreras if the Yankees score another run. But I don't know if they don't, if they have a 3-run lead. The primary thing is not to let this game get away.
Bronson Arroyo, a right-hander, getting ready for the Red Sox. Nice play by Veritek. Full count now after it was 0-2 on Nick Johnson.
Jimmy, if you don't mind, I'm going to stay away from speculating.
Okay.
My percentages haven't been the highest.
It is an interesting decision, though, if it were to remain 4-1.
Well, both of them are still up.
So you would think it'd be Rivera.
Yeah. Base hit here, that all changes.
Runner at second, Posada 2 out. 3-2 pitch from Embry. Into left field, Manny Ramirez pulls it in. But the Yankees add to their lead. They get their first run since they scored 3 in the second. With a 2, 3, and 4 batters coming up in the bottom of the 8th, it's now 4-1 New York. Sun Dealer by Sprint, proudly offering picture mail and PCS Vision picture phones. By WebMD, redefining modern medicine. And by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Up above, the Hood Light Ship. Hood Dairy donates $300 to children's hospitals throughout New England for every home run, double play, and strikeout made by the Red Sox at Fenway in this ALCS. Joe Torre has been waiting for another opportunity to use Mariano Rivera for 2 innings, and he gets his chance here in the 8th inning of Game 5 with the Red Sox batting, trailing by 3.
Mariano turns 34 in November 29th. And the one thing that I think everybody around the American League and perhaps the nation, the baseball nation, he's so impressive with that elegant gait of his, the way he walks. There's nobody that walks any easier or comes in from the bullpen with an easier gait than Rivera. And I think that is part of the reason for his success, because the ball just explodes out of his hand. Hitters just can't believe he can do that.
Just an aura he's got about him.
Nice, easy, fluid delivery, and then bang. Strike 1 to Todd Walker. Garciaparra, Manny Ramirez will follow. That is hammered into right field. Well hit into the corner and off the base of the wall. Walker is going to scoot, go to third, and make it with a leadoff triple.
Todd Walker gets around on the cut fastball, in off the plate, looking for it all the way. Most left-handed hitters will pull that ball foul or break their bats. Walker with a triple.
He's been awfully good. I mean, he's been the guy for him. And he comes up big for him again to lead off this inning.
Now it's Garciaparra as this crowd climbs back into it. In case you're wondering, Rivera blew 2 saves against the Red Sox this season, and his last blown save in the postseason was Game 7 of the 2001 World Series in Arizona. 1 ball, 1 strike on Garciaparra.
That might be the best swing Garciaparra's had all night. Just misses this cutter.
To the right side, run scores. But the Yankees get an out here in the 8th inning. An RBI ground out. And it's a 2-run game, 4-2 in the 8th. Manny Ramirez will walk in. Back in the 4th. First pitch from Wells. Until 20 seconds ago, the only run of the night for the Red Sox. For Nomar Garciaparra, he just picked up his first RBI in his last 12 postseason games. Much of a swing at that pitch. It's 0-2.
That pitch was a foot outside.
For the Yankees, they scored an important run in the top half of this 8th. Made it a 3-run game. Now it's a 2-run game. Ball 1 from Rivera. Very defensive swings by Manny Ramirez here against Rivera.
Yeah, he's not coming close to those fastballs. He's missing them away. He cues this shot right off the end of the bat. Look at contact right into your living room.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 2-2. Two out. Our game summary is brought to you by Nissan. And again, it's another game falling right in line. A game that's featured tremendous pitching. David Wells, the starter for the Yankees. Lowe was solid for the Boston Red Sox. Kareem Garcia with that bases loaded single to drive home 2 with 2 out in the 2nd. That was followed by a 2-out hit by Soriano. And now with 2 out, nobody on, here's Ortiz. And there's strike 1. And Ortiz says enough to make Joe West, the home plate umpire, take his mask off. Shake of the head and a smile in frustration after dealing with Rivera from Manny Ramirez. The count is even at a ball and a strike.
You couldn't help but see the befuddlement on Ramirez's face in trying to hit Mariano Rivera. And he's got a lot of company in the American League.
The 1-1. Strike 2.
It's just amazing. It's one pitch. It's one pitch, same speed. He almost tells you the location most of the time.
I think he's doing different too. Earlier in the year when we faced him with, Seattle faced him, he threw to the right-handers. He would also throw the front door cutter. What I mean by that is he started at your body and break it over the inner half of the plate. He hasn't even messed around with that.
Big league hitters very rarely have trouble with one-speed pitchers. They throw a fastball the same speed. Big league hitters hit them.
Ortiz is on, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate. A 2-out hit by David Ortiz.
That's a fine at bat right there. That's a cutter that Rivera got right where he wanted. And credit Ortiz for a fine piece of hitting.
That'll bring in Millar, and it sends Posada out to the mound. Millar, 25 home runs during the regular season, none so far this postseason. Strike 1. Millar is Grounded out twice and struck out, but that was against Wells. One home run in his career against his right-hander Rivera.
See the name of Stephen King's next book, Rally Cap.
Two balls and a strike. A leadoff triple by Walker, scored, and the ground out by Garciaparra. Ramirez struck out. Ortiz single to center. Tying run at the plate, bottom of the 8th. Game 5, series tied. Jeter to his left. Flips, and we go to the 9th inning. The Red Sox come up with one. Strand one have left 7 in this game. It's a 4-2 score. Back after this from your local Fox station. Third pitcher of the night for the Red Sox. Lowe started, went 7 1/3. Embry 2/3, all zeros. And now it's Arroyo. Trying to keep it 4-2 and dealing with Aaron Boone. Ball 1. One word that's often used to describe George Steinbrenner, the owner of the New York Yankees, is impulsive. The Christmas season 2001, he made an impulse buy by getting David Wells. Having dinner in Tampa, bringing back a friend slash nemesis. They'd already signed Hitchcock. He wanted to bring him back. Wells has gone 34 14 since. He gets the nod in this game 5, and David Wells a big reason why the Yankees in the 9th inning lead 4-2. Aaron Boone strikes out, 1 out. Let's check in with Chris Myers.
Yeah, Joe, as the series shifts from Fenway south about 200 miles to Yankee Stadium, one of the most famous walls this side of the Great Wall of China. Of course, the Green Monster now has Green Monster seats. It cost them about $4 million to put seats in and above that area. It seats about 400 if you include standing room, and they actually have bar stools up there. They say they're as popular as the on-field box seats, and the idea was to try and create a neighborhood atmosphere to watch the game, similar to the bleachers at Wrigley. And of course, there still is that chance that the World Series could be in Fenway and Wrigley. Joe?
Chris, thanks. First pitch is a ball low and away. One thing they seem to have accomplished, at least in my opinion, is the way they put those seats on top of the Green Monster almost looks like they belong there. Like,
yeah, part of it.
Yeah, like it's been part of it the whole time. Kareem Garcia waits for a 1-1 pitch from Arroyo. Strike 2. In the bottom of the 9th inning against Rivera, it'll be Miller, Nixon, and Veritek. Understand they're chanting jailbird for Kareem Garcia after his involvement in that fight in the 9th inning on Saturday evening out in the bullpen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. On 2-2 with 1 out. Full count. A 1-out walk. Soriano coming up, then Jeter. Sauerbeck, a left-hander, getting loose for Boston with DeLucci now hitting in the number 3 spot. Soriano tonight has made a sparkling defensive play. He is 1 out of 4 at the plate from an RBI single in the second. Good pitch for strike 1.
Part of our opening, Nomar Garciaparra and Alfonso Soriano both are now 2 for 19 in the ALCS.
And both in this game 5 finally pick up their first RBI. One ball, one strike.
Soriano had the type of April that you would have thought had MVP stamped on it. A 370 batter in April, 8 home runs. He has not played well offensively during the postseason.
Off balance, pops it up into center for Johnny Damon. 2 out. Depending on the outcome of tonight's NLCS Game 6, you'll be able to see Game 6 of this series tomorrow at either 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, or 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Then if there is a Game 7 between the Marlins and the Cubs, you'll be able to see it at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific right here on Fox. Sports' biggest month of the year continues tomorrow only on Fox. And again, if the Cubs fail to close out the Marlins tonight, their Game 7 will be tomorrow night here on Fox. The Cubs win behind Pryor tonight. Game 6 of this ALCS will happen at 8 Eastern right here at Yankee Stadium, but right here on your dial. Strike 1 on Jeter. Strike. This Boston Red Sox lineup is strong and solid throughout. That'll be apparent in the bottom of this 9th inning when, even though it's the bottom 3 in the order, it'll be the AL batting champ, Trot Nixon, who hit 28 home runs, and Veritek, who hit 25. Garciaparra flags it down and fires for the force out. Good play by Nomar to end the top of the 9th. And now with Rivera headed back to work. 7, 8, 9 coming up for the Red Sox. They trail by 2. Series will leave Boston after tonight. One of these 2 teams will have a 3-games-to-2 series advantage tomorrow when they hit the field at Yankee Stadium. Red Sox bat, bottom of the 9th, down by 2. Miller first up, takes a strike. Miller, then Nixon, then Veritek. Johnny Damon due up 4th in this inning. Rivera gave up a run in the 8th. Off the hand, strike 2. Miller has 2 hits and 4 career at-bats against Rivera. Longtime National Leaguer. Bill Miller. And he waits for an 0-2. Red Sox need a runner to have a chance. To the second baseman, Soriano. 1 away in the bottom of the 9th. Miller hitless tonight. 2 out of 17 in this ALCS. And Nixon, who's been hit by a pitch, reached on an error and struck out. Bats with 1 out, nobody on here in the 9th inning.
And that's the thing. The Red Sox certainly need a runner, and you would think that the best way for them to get a runner would be a broken bat base hit. That's how you have to think against Rivera. And then perhaps have somebody catch one, something down and in like Damon. You just do not hit many balls off the fat part of the bat against this guy. You can't center the ball.
Miles per hour poured in for strike 1. Jam shot, Boone charging, 2 out. We look at LCS records since 1985. 15 of the 20 teams leading 3 games to 2 went on to win the series, and the Yankees are 1 out away from gaining that advantage with the series going back to New York. John Burkett, Andy Pettitte. The pitching matchup, as we are told here tonight, in Game 6. Fastball for a strike to Veritek. Veritek pops it into shallow center. Tough play, might drop. Jeter with a sensational catch to end Game 5. The Yankees win it. A final of 4-2. That thing had base hit written all over it, and Jeter just made a very difficult play look easy.
Joe Torre has said since he took over the Yankees, the most important thing, pitching and defense. And the Yankees had that tonight.
So this series will return to the Bronx tomorrow, either in the late afternoon or tomorrow night, depending on what happens in the game coming your way next here on Fox. Game 6 of the NLCS, the Marlins and the Cubs. There's no travel day because of the rain out on Sunday night, so everybody will pull up the stakes and move this show to New York. And the Yankees come into Fenway Park and take 2 of the 3 games played. And again, it's a matchup of Andy Pettitte, who has been very good this postseason, against John Burkett. It's the plan going into this game. The pitching matchup for tomorrow. So while we talk here in the booth, down on the field, a lot of action on the Yankees side, and standing by is Chris Myers.
Thanks, Sean. Down on the field with Derek Jeter. Of course, David Wells in the clubhouse. Big game pitcher for you guys, 10-2 in his career in the postseason. Talk about the kind of confidence you have when he takes the mound in games like this.
Seems like it's like that for all our pitchers. I mean, they really stepped up when we needed them most, especially Boomer. I mean, he's hurt a little bit, but he still goes out there and does a great job.
Yeah, and tonight there were a couple of tough spots, obviously. You got Garcia Parra. He struck him out with runners at second and third on the bases loaded situation. Ramirez, what looked like was working best for Wells?
Well, those are 2 of the last guys you want to see up there in the American League, but he was mixing it up pretty well. His fastball, his curveball was outstanding. He was mixing in some changeups, but the thing with Boomer is he goes right at you, and today he had some good stuff.
How would you describe, Derek, this series so far? It's always interesting, Yankees, Red Sox, but the games that we've had, it seems like things have settled down a bit.
I wouldn't necessarily say settle down. Maybe everyone running on the field, but these games are always exciting, and we enjoy it. And you know, right now we're heading home. We're feeling pretty good.
You feel like the Yankees have it more under control?
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? We're trying to get wins. That's what our focus is.
You're 1 win away.
And you know, we take it day by day. So you know, we never get overconfident. We go out there. We got Pettitte pitching tomorrow.
Is it a little different? You're not sure whether you're going to play an afternoon game or an evening game at this point at Yankee Stadium, and it's Burkett against Andy Pettitte. What do you expect?
Really, I didn't even know that. I just assumed we were playing tomorrow night, but it doesn't really make a difference. You know, whatever time it is, it's the same time for both teams. But, you know, Andy's been pitching well for us, especially in big game situations, and hopefully he can do it again.
All right, thanks a lot, Derek. All right, the Yankees are 1 win away from advancing to the World Series. Let's go back up to Joe.
All right, Chris, thanks, and thanks for being with us here at Fenway Park. The series here in Boston is finished. Back to New York and the Bronx. A final of 4-2 in Game 5. Well, a 4-2 win for the New York Yankees here in Game 5, and now it's off to the Bronx. The coordinating producer of Major League Baseball on Fox and the producer of today's game, Michael Weissman. The director is Bill Webb. As always, Steve Horn assisting us here in the booth. Tape producer is Aaron Stoikov, the associate director, Kathy Hunt, and the broadcast associates, Eric Billigmeyer and David Duvall. The VP of Field Operations, Jerry Steinberg, and our technical producer is Dave Hill. Wells the winner. He steps up big again for the Yankees. Now 2-0 in this postseason. Rivera gets the save, his 29th in his postseason career. Final score 4-2 New York. For more information on today's game and the latest in Major League Baseball news, log on to foxsports.com. For Tim and Brett and Chris, I'm Joe. 4-2 Yankees on to New York in this series. Jeannie Zelasco and Kevin Kennedy will be along after these words.